Hey, what's going on, everybody? I go by Swivel, and today we're going to be breaking down how I made Swivel-Man no Uta in collaboration with JobbytheHong. If you haven't done so already, please check out the song. Links in the description. You can check it out on YouTube, Spotify, Soundcloud, wherever music is sold. With that being said, let's dive right in. So I started off by listening to the original song and figuring out what the chords of it were. So here I used the piano, simple piano, to just tab out what the chord progression is, and it goes like this. And then this part. So I pretty much layered that with the original song to figure out what it was doing, essentially. You can hear it here. And I use that to also, I use the original song to also figure out the vocal melody. So I'll also show you in the same pattern right here. And that's pretty much what Jobby ends up singing and replacing. At this point, I pretty much had to figure out where I wanted to go with the song. So I listened to Devilman Crybaby, the theme for that, and then I also listened to Platinum Jazz's version of Devilman no Uta. After listening to those two, I pretty much had like some ideas and wanted to kind of just start the song similar to the original, actually, and the original starts like this. So I figured out like what it's doing in the beginning, and it's doing this. And it kind of drags that note out. So I kind of just wanted to shorten it out and then kind of just get started right away. So it goes like, and it has this under it, some pianos. That's all together. And for the like plucks it's doing, it has a piano hitting right here. Then it also has a synth. And another like synth, but it's like more of a pluck on top of that. And then if we take a listen to the saxophone, this one is actually just a sound bank. I found online, and I messed with the velocities here so that it can kind of sound a little bit more like realistic in a way. It sounds like this alone. And I don't really have anything special going on with the effects on my mixer, like tracks, for all those things except the saxophone. This one has quite a bit going on. I can show you without effects. Sounds like this. And then with. And pretty much for here I have an EQ, wave shaper, OTT, chorus, but it's only, the mix is only like halfway. Some vintage verb, it's pretty much just reverb, stereo enhancement, and a send, which I use for volume control. And that's pretty much all that's on that. And then also in the intro, underneath all that, we have the bass, which does this. And for this, it's just a relatively simple bass with a sub under it. But the cool thing about this part is just in the beginning, I'm automating the mix of something called retro color. It pretty much, I'm using a transition preset, but it sounds like this with it on. And then with everything on, then we also have the drums, which, let me turn them on. We have quite a bit of things. We have a kick, we have a snare or a clap, then we also have another one, a reverse clap, and then hi-hats and, you know, just the usual things. Hi-hat, some cymbals and whatnot. But the fun thing about this one is I wanted to kind of make it groove more with the drums, so I added a conga and a rim so that it can kind of add to like this like rhythm. Yeah, so we also have these like 808 toms. And then on top of all that, we have like, you know, just like transitions, like uplifters and risers and whatnot. And yeah, and then with everything on, it well, minus the voice, sounds like this. Once I pretty much finished like this intro part, I also added the oscillator doing like the vocal how do you say, the vocal melody, and I pretty much sent that, just this intro, to Jobby and asked them if like, do you like this, like should I continue with this or not, you know? And he liked it, so I continued with it. I tabbed out the entire vocal melody, every part, the verse, the chorus. And then I pretty much just moved on to the verse, just taking it like one step at a time. And for the verse, it was a little weird to try to transition from the intro chords to the verse chords because they are different. That's why I have this transition right here that there's nothing really going on, so that your like palette can kind of reset in a way in terms of what the chords are doing, and it would kind of just flow better. And then this part is pretty much like a build-up or pre-chorus, whatever, like right before the chorus. And I couldn't really figure out how I can do the piano parts because they're consistently changing. There's so many chords here, and I actually ended up just giving up and just dragging out the notes right here. You can see them. And that was a pain to just like figure out. And I think I also like left that as like a little placeholder and never came back to it. And I kind of just ended up liking how it sounded, especially with like the other plex and everything coming in. It sounds fine. This is the chorus. Then same thing with the saxophone in this part. Actually, I didn't really like what it was doing, but I never ended up coming back to it and just kind of left it, this part right here. So I liked this. Like it's just kind of just following the chords and it sounds fine, but I didn't really like this intro part. I don't know, I feel like there's just so much else I could have done. I don't know, something. So then for the bass for like the chorus, I also just wanted to kind of have it moving, just very groovy. So I ended up adding some swing to the entire song also to kind of just like keep it interesting. And with all that, like with the drums, I liked like the groove it had. And then with Jobby's vocals coming in later too, it just sounded really good. So then towards this end part of the chorus, I knew it was gonna like kind of have another like little pause with going another little pause so that I can go back into the verse. So if you listen to this transition, it kind of goes off the 4/4 like mark, because it does like a half bar right here. So let me count this down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's just that 1, 2 in the middle, and it kind of just it sounded fine because it wasn't. When I added just like 4 bars or the 4 like things right here, it sounded too short, and then with 8 it sounded too long. So I was like, you know what, let's just do 6. Nobody's gonna notice. And sure enough, I'm pretty sure nobody noticed. After this chorus, the verse just kind of repeats entirely the same thing with the second chorus, and then for the outro, it kind of just has the same pattern as the intro for the bass, like what the melody is doing. So it's kind of like rounding it out, like, you know, full circle. And I do like how it just kind of ends, especially with the vocals. Yeah, so if we get to the vocals, I pretty much sent Jobby the entire thing with the vocal melody, the little oscillator on, so that he can have like, you know, the timing and the pitch down and everything. And then he got back to me with several takes, and I ended up like choosing and editing them, like which ones I liked and everything, and then getting a main one and then getting some backup ones also. So with everything together, it sounds like this.
What is he? What is he? He is called the Swivel-Man. He's Swivel-Man.
Yeah, so I'll take a look at the backups. I have 2 that are exactly the same, but one's pitched. One's panned all the way left, and the other one's all the way right. And this kind of just gives it more like a fuller sound, like more stereo. And then same thing with the other backups under it, but these backups are pitched a whole octave down. So if you take this into just the vocals, the backups.
What is he? What is he? He is called the Swivel-Man. He's Swivel-Man.
And there's not too much going on with them. It's like relatively simple stuff. The only thing I want to point out is that these have more, they sound more wet in terms of like the flangus and then like the chorus stuff I'm using. And in the main vocal, that's turned, it's the same exact effects, it's just that it's turned down a notch so that it can sound cleaner in the main vocal.
What is he? What is he? He is called the Swivel.
And then it also has a little bit of this reverb, as the backups have more. The backups that are like underneath all that, the ones that are turned down.
What is he? What is he?
So they sound a little distorted because I put them on E3 mono and then the whole octave down. But I like how that sounded with everything else. It kind of just gave it like some grit. I don't know, like it just sounded good.
What is he? What is he? He is called the Swivel-Man.
And then the backups just kind of come in, like they interject like every now and then. They're not there the entire time. It's really noticeable at the build up right here.
Swivel out the head, move up and down. Swivel out the shoulder, arm moves out. Bend out the elbow, swivel out the wrist. Ball joint here and swivel out the tits.
So without the main vocal.
Up and down. Her arm moves out. Swivel out the wrist. Swivel out the tits.
Yeah, the start of the chorus right here, the backups, the lower backups are just alone with the main vocal. Then everything comes in.
The Swivel's in command. He is a creature.
And then in this part of the chorus, also, I added some chants that like pan left and right. And this one was my voice. I just felt like it kind of lacked something, just kind of throwing a little bit of something here. It just says swivel here and just panning back and forth.
Swivel here, swivel here, swivel here.
It's kind of just like gets dug up under everything, but it's there if you like re-listen for it.
Swivel's in command. He is a creature with greasy hair. He's Swivel-Man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for the vocals. The only thing else I can like really say is that I have delay on them, just kind of coming in like at certain parts, which is right here, the transition between the first chorus and the second verse.
One day he was touched
just to kind of like transition it better, make it flow better. The only thing else I can mention is really like the master channel. I usually tend to export it, like bounce it out and do this on a separate file. But I believe for this one I got lazy and just decided to master on here, just an ozone, G-clip, and limiter. Yeah, that's pretty much how it all like came together. I really had fun making this, and it was like my third time technically working with Jobby, first being Who Will Know, then Red Dress, and then this. And speaking of Red Dress, if you'd like to see how I made Red Dress with Jobby, I can also do a breakdown video of that. Leave it in the comments below if you're interested in that. I believe my project file is kind of sloppy, but I can go ahead and clean it up a little bit and then make a video on that. I will also be releasing new music in the near future on this channel and on my SoundCloud, potentially other places too. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow me on SoundCloud. Be ready for these releases eventually when they do come out. And thank you for watching.